ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here is the description about what wonderful transformation happened in both the body and the minds of the four sages when personally they had darshan of the Supreme Lord. So the Lord arrived at that place where these four Kumaras were there, and they had felt insulted because they were not allowed by Jaya and Vijaya to enter into Vaikuntha. So the Lord personally arrived there, and what transformation happened to these four sages after having the darshan of the Lord is beautifully explained here. Tasya Arvinda Nayanasya, the Supreme Lord who has lotus eyes. Arvinda means lotus, Nayanasya means eyes. Padarvinda, and the lotus feet of the Lord. Kinjalka, Kinjalka means the toes. Mishra Tulsi Makaranda Vayu, when the fragrance of the lotus feet of the Lord mixed with tulsi, Mishra Tulsi, that fragrance, that makaranda, when it was carried by the breeze, Vayuhu, what happened? Antagataha, it went inside. Swavivarena, from their nostrils. When the four Kumaras smelled this aroma of the lotus feet of the Lord, which was mixed with tulsi, which was being carried by the breeze, when it entered through their nostrils, Swavivarena, Antargataha, it went inside, and it brought about a wonderful change. Chakarate Sham Sankshobham. Prabhupada explains Sankshobham means it agitated them, it brought about a change in them. Sankshobham. In what it brought about a change? Chitta Tanvoho, their body and their chitta, their heart or their mind. What was their position earlier to this change? Akshara Jusham. They were actually attached to Akshara. Akshara means one who follows the philosophy of monism or impersonal aspect of the Lord. They were attached to and they were absorbed in impersonal aspect of the Lord. But once they had the darshan of the Lord, and once they smelled the aroma of His lotus feet mixed with tulsi, which entered through their nostrils, it brought about Sankshobham, it brought about a wonderful change in Chitta Tanvo, in their body and mind. Even though they were attached to Akshara Jusham, they were attached to impersonal understanding. So Prabhupada translates, when the breeze carrying the aroma of tulsi leaves from the toes of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead entered the nostrils of those sages, they experienced a change both in body and in mind, even though they were attached to the impersonal Brahman understanding. So what change happened? Earlier, they wanted to merge their selves in Brahman. Now they thought it is wise not to merge, but to remain as a subordinate servant to the Supreme Lord. So Prabhupada is saying, because of the fragrance of his lotus feet, carried by the air and mixed with the aroma of tulsi, their mind changed. Instead of becoming one with the Supreme Lord, they thought it wise to be devotees. Becoming a servitor of the lotus feet of the Lord is better than becoming one with the Lord. So this wonderful change happened just by smelling the aroma of the lotus feet of the Lord. Actually, this is the wonderful qualities of the Supreme Lord, that the Lord has not even started speaking to them. The Lord is not even telling them about, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just by smelling the aroma from the lotus feet of the Lord mixed with tulsi, their mind, their body completely changed. Their understanding completely changed. This is actually the wonderful qualities of the Supreme Lord. Bhagavatam actually describes this. Itham bhuta gune harihi. Itham bhuta means actually the Lord has wonderful, so many wonderful guna that even those people who are self-satisfied, even they give up their self-satisfaction and they take to devotional service of the Lord. So, these are the wonderful qualities in the Supreme Lord. In fact, in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Shaunak Adi Rishis, Shaunak Rishi, he asked this question to Suta Goswami. That Shukdev Goswami, he was already self-satisfied. He was already liberated from this world. He had no attachment. Why did he take the trouble to understand Srimad Bhagavatam? Because now, in Naimisharanya, all these Shaunakadi rishis, they have all assembled and they want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam from Suta Goswami, who had heard directly in the assembly from Shukdev Goswami. So they are asking him this question, that you heard Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami, but why did Shukdev Goswami take the trouble to understand Bhagavatam first of all? He was a self-realized person. So in response to that, Suta Goswami quotes this verse. It's a very famous verse, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave 61 different explanations of this famous verse, which is called Atmaram verse. So the verse says, Atmaramascha munayo nirgrantha api urukrame kurvanti ahetukim bhaktim itham bhuta guno harihi. Once Prabhupada, he was giving a Pandal program in Canada, and there, I think it was High Commissioner of Canada, he also attended the program. He was James George. So after the program was over, he was very surprised to see so many Americans, so many Canadians, not just Hindu people, because in Canada there are a lot of Hindu people also. In America also you will find a lot of Hindu people. So he was taken by surprise that so many Canadians and so many Americans are attending this program. So he asked Prabhupada, you have attracted so many Canadians and Americans. So then Prabhupada replied, Prabhupada was very humble. Prabhupada said, I have not attracted. Krishna has attracted them. And then Prabhupada explained, of course, it is through the means of the devotees that wonderful qualities of Krishna's are elaborated and then they become attracted. Otherwise, so many people are talking about Krishna. They were not attracted. Isn't it? Just like here also, we see when the fragrance of the lotus feet of the Lord mixed with tulsi, it's another devotee of the Lord. When that entered the nostrils of the four sages, they became attracted. So, the glories of the Lord, they are, exponented. They are, explained by the devotees of the Lord, then it becomes very attractive. So, Prabhupada said, Krishna is all attractive. I am simply presenting the means of being attracted. That is my business. Krishna is like the magnet. So just like the magnet automatically, naturally attracts the iron. But sometimes the iron is rusty, so it does not become attractive. It is not the fault of the Lord. Iron is rusty. So my business is to remove that rust. This process is called Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleansing the heart. So Prabhupada explained that actually Krishna is all attractive, similar to the way a magnet attracts iron. So actually the Supreme Lord has those wonderful qualities by which even the Atma Ramas, those who are completely self-satisfied, they become attracted. So this is a very beautiful word. There are many different explanations. We'll just take the most crucial, important understanding which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. We in the material world are in want, right? We are always looking for something. Just like, let us say, if we are hungry, we look for food. We are thirsty, we look for water. We work hard to gain happiness. But Atma Ramas are the people who do not look for anything outside them. They take pleasure in the self alone. They are called as Atma Ramas. So, Atma Ramas Chamunayo, those people who completely take pleasure only in the self. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very beautifully explains to Sanatana Goswami 61 different explanations. Just to give you an example, he explains there are many kinds of Atma Ramas also. One Atma Rama is one who actually takes pleasure in the soul alone, in the self alone. But Atma, according to Sanskrit, also means for different people Atma is different. For the person who is on bodily platform, for him the self is body. Somebody is on mental platform, for him Atma is mind. Somebody is on intellectual platform, for him Atma is buddhi. So all these varieties of Atma Ramas, one who takes pleasure in the body, one who takes pleasure in the mind, one who takes pleasure in the intellect, or one who takes pleasure in the self. All these different varieties of Atma Ramas, they all perform devotional service to the Lord. Atmaramas cha munayo. Munayo means thoughtful man. Nirgranthi api. All of us, we look for outside pleasure and we get bound in this material world. We have Hridaya Granthi. Not one Granthi, Granthi after Granthi. Knot after knot, we are knotted. Atmaramas, they are Nirgranthi. Nirgranthi means they are not having any attraction, no bondage in this material world. So even though they are Nirgranthis, they take pleasure only in the self, still, api means still. Urukrame kurvanti ahetukim bhakti. They perform ahetuki bhakti. Ahetuki Prabhupada explains, causeless, without material desire. Ahetukim bhakti to urukrame, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has wonderful pastimes. Why? Itham bhuta guno harihi. So Itham bhut, Prabhupada says, so wonderful as to attract the attention of self-satisfied. Not simply just wonderful. It is so wonderful that even self-satisfied people are attracted. Itham bhuta guno harihi. So, while explaining this, different meanings of Atmaram verses, one very important meaning which is related to today's verse about the different beautiful qualities of the Lord which attracts. Just like here we see the four Kumaras were attracted to the fragrance when it entered their nostrils. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while explaining to Sanatana Goswami, explains the meaning of Hari. So while explaining, he says Hari has two very important meanings. One is one who takes away all inauspiciousness from his devotees. And thus, the devotee becomes completely captured. He steals away the hearts of the devotee. Hari actually means one who steals away. So after taking out all the inauspiciousness from his devotees, the Lord steals away the heart of his devotees with his wonderful qualities. Guno harihi. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while explaining this, explains about how he steals away the minds of different kinds of devotees, how he attracts with his different attributes. The Lord attracts with his different qualities. He attracts the minds of different kinds of devotees. So while explaining this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu beautifully explains. Alokika rupa rasa surabhadi guna karo mana kona guna kare akarshana. So, alokika rupa means not of this material world. Lokika means material. Alokika means which is above, transcendental, uncommon beauty, uncommon transcendental beauty. So what are uncommon transcendental beauties of the Lord? Rupa, his beauty; rasa, different mellows; saurabha adi guna, qualities like transcendental fragrance. Saurabha means the transcendental fragrance. Just like here it is, the word is used is makaranda. Karomana. Karomana means the mind of the devotees. Kona gune, by some particular qualities. Kare akarshana. The Lord attracts some devotees, he attracts by his beauty, some devotees he attracts by his transcendental aroma, some devotees he attracts with some other transcendental attributes of the Lord. So this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining the meaning of the word Hari. How the Lord attracts, takes away the mind of his devotees with his wonderful attributes. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu starts giving the examples, how the Lord attracts. Sanakadira mana harila saurabhadi gune. The Lord attracted the mind of Sanaka Mana, Sanaka and Adi, the four Kumaras, Saurabhadi Gune, by the transcendental aroma, fragrance coming from his lotus feet. The minds of the four sages were attracted to the lotus feet of Krishna by the aroma of Tulsi that had been offered to the Lord. Shukadevara mana harila leela shravane. Shukadeva's mind was carried away by hearing the pastimes of the Lord. So when Shukadeva Goswami heard the pastimes of the Lord from Veda Vyasa, his mind was carried away completely. Otherwise, Shukadeva Goswami, we know, right from the womb of his mother, he was Atma. He was completely liberated right in the womb of his mother. And that's why he did not even want to come out. For a long time he did not come out. For many years he did not come. And after coming out also he said goodbye to his father. I am going away. And he was going away, walking away towards the forest. He was not attached to anything. He did not require some samskara. Nothing was required for him. But when he heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his father, his mind was completely attracted. So he gave up his attraction to Akshara Jusham. So, like about the four Kumaras, it is said, Akshara Jusham, their mind was completely attached to impersonal understanding. Shukadeva Goswami's own word, it is said, Parinishtito api nirgunye. Parinishtito means completely situated in nirgunye, in the transcendental position, freed from material modes of nature. In Nirguna, he was completely situated in Nirgunye. Uttama shloka leelaya. But when he heard the leelas of the Lord, Uttama shloka leelaya, grahita cheta rajarishe, his heart was completely transformed. Shukadeva Goswami addressed Maharaj Parikshit, my dear king, although I was fully situated in transcendental position, I was nonetheless attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, I studied Srimad Bhagavatam from my father. Akhyanam yad adhitvan. So the narrations, Akhyana means this great narration of Srimad Bhagavatam, I studied. Adhitvan means I studied from my father. So Shukadeva Goswami was simply attracted by Leela Shravane, by hearing the pastimes of the Lord. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains about the gopis. Shri Anga Rupe Hare Gopika Ramana. Shri Anga means by the transcendental Rupa, by the transcendental beauty, the Lord attracted the minds of gopis. Lord Krishna attracts the mind of all gopis with his beautiful transcendental bodily features. Rupa Guna Shravane Rukmini Adhira Karshana. Rukmini was actually supposed to be married to someone else, and both the father and son had planned. But just by hearing about the transcendental glories, just by hearing about the beauty of the Lord, gopis were attracted by seeing the beauty. Gopis were attracted just by seeing the beauty of the Lord. Rukmini was attracted just by hearing about the beauty of the Lord. Rupa Guna Shravane Rukmini Adira Akarshana. The queens in Dwarka, headed by Rukmini, are also attracted to Krishna simply by hearing about his transcendental beauty and qualities. Then, how Lakshmi is attracted. So even Lakshmi gets attracted to Lord Krishna. She wants to give up her services in Vaikuntha and she wants to be part of Krishna Leela. She wants to enter into the pastimes of Krishna also. How? Vamshi Gite Hare Krishna Lakshmi Adi Ramana. Lord Krishna even attracts the mind of goddess of fortune simply by vibrating his transcendental flute. So, Krishna attracts not only the minds of gopis and the goddess of fortune, but the minds of all the young girls in the three worlds as well. All the three worlds the Lord attracts the mind. And then it is said about how the different gopas were attracted, how Yashodamai, Nanda Maharaj, all these people were attracted in Vrindavan. Guru Tulya Stri Ganera Vatsalya Akarshana. Those who are in the position of like Guru, respectable position. So Prabhupada says, the women of Vrindavan who are on the level of superior guardians are attracted to Krishna maternally, Vatsalya Akarshana. Dasya Sakhyadi Bhave Purushadi Gana. And different male members in Vrindavan, in Mathura, they were attracted in Dasya Rasa or Sakhya Rasa. So the men of Vrindavan are attracted as servants, friends and fathers. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, not only that, Pakshi, Mriga, Vriksha, Lata, Chetana, Achetana, Prema Matta Kari Akarshaye Krishna Guna. The qualities of Krishna captivate and attracts everything, living and non-living. Even birds, animals and trees are attracted to Krishna's qualities. So these are the wonderful qualities. Itham bhuta gune harihi. The mind, the Lord attracts the minds of varieties of living entities, his devotees, in different ways by his different attributes. So one of the attributes is being explained here is about how the four Kumaras, they smelled the aroma of the tulsi leaves coming from the lotus feet of the Lord. And when it entered their nostrils, it brought about a complete change in them. And even though their mind was completely absorbed in Akshara Jusham, they were completely absorbed in becoming one with the Lord, in the impersonal aspect of the Lord. But just by smelling this aroma, they completely transformed and they thought that it is better to become the devotees of the Lord. So Prabhupada explains that actually in the four Kumaras, there was no offense on the part of the Lord. They were not of offensive mentality. They were attached to impersonal aspect of the Lord. They were not aware of the personal aspect of the Lord. They were not like Mayavadis. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Mayavadi hai Krishna aparadi. So those who are Krishna aparadi, they will not get attracted. Prabhupada gave example that in Vrindavan, there are so many Mayavadis. They don't even come and have darshan of the Lord. Whereas you can see how many people, they all go around different temples, they go around and have darshans of the Lord. These Mayavadis, they don't even get attracted and have darshan of the deities in the temple. They think that is also Maya. So that's why they are called as Mayavadi. So once Prabhupada, he was talking to, some of his disciples. That was on the day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disappearance day. So one lady came and she was a great disciple of one very well known impersonalist Swami at that time. So she came and she was glorifying her guru like anything. And then Prabhupada, one by one, he smashed all her arguments. So at one point, she said about, telling about her guru. So she said, dark means unknown. So she is telling from his guru that his guru has, commented in Bhagavad Gita about Krishna. So Krishna means dark and dark means unknown. So according to him, dark means unknown. Therefore, absolute truth is unknowable. That means impersonal. So that is how he is commenting. So then Prabhupada said, if dark is unknown, if Krishna is unknown, why your guru has commented on Bhagavad Gita? If he is unknown, then why has he commented on Bhagavad Gita? Why does he comment on something which he does not know? And then Prabhupada said, actually, therefore it is very clear, Krishna remains unknown to them and he can be known only by the devotees. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. To the devotees, I am known. And he will remain unknown to all these people. So actually these people are offenders. So, commenting in one of the purport, Prabhupada explains, the 4 Kumaras were not offenders. Therefore they were attracted. But otherwise these Mayavadis, it is very difficult. They will not become attracted. Because actually they are offenders at the lotus feet of the Lord. So Prabhupada said, those who are demoniac and those who are these kind of Mayavadis, for them the Lord has a different treatment. Just like in today's conversations we were reading. It's a very beautiful conversation, Prabhupada explains. When Dr. Patel said, Shankaracharya was not Mayavadi, Prabhupada said, I am not talking of Shankaracharya. Then Prabhupada said, for these Mayavadis, there is no mercy. If he says, and then Prabhupada explains, actually that is also mercy in one kind. If he says, no, I shall rub over your belly and I will be cured. So Prabhupada is actually talking about if a person has got horrible disease in his belly, and if he says, no, I will just rub over my belly and I will get cured. So Prabhupada says, no. It means it must go on. Operation, surgical operation. That is the treatment. If you become kind, no, it is very difficult. I will give him something, I will cure. That is not treatment. Tan aham dvishtaha kruran shipami ajrsam asuresha eva yonishu. No mercy. If you are envious, I am sending you to the darkest region of ignorance. So actually, those who are offenders, for them it is very difficult to become attracted. But otherwise, impersonalist, those who are not aware about the personal aspects of the Lord, if they come in touch with any of these attributes of the Lord through the devotees of the Lord, definitely they will become attracted. They will give up their mentality, that change will come about in them. Stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada.